Good Monday morning, everybody. I'm Randy McElroy alongside Chancellor Johnson and our insider for ClickToHouston.com, Aaron Wilson. Welcome to Inside the Texans. We do it each and every Monday as we chop it up a little bit following a Texans game. Of course, I went down at NRG Stadium yesterday, guys. 24-20 win. And there's a lot of stuff we can kind of dive into this victory. End of the day, it was a victory. You check that box, you move on to the next one. But as good as the offense was, there are issues, and we'll talk a lot about the penalty problems. I guess that's the big takeaway, right?
Right. Randy, when you think about this team, they very easily could have lost this football game because of the penalty problem. They're up to 40 penalties. They lead the NFL, and it's something that I think it's a habit. It's hard to fix in 1 week. Everybody thought, well, they'll iron it out. They said all these things about ironing out details. It takes time to fix bad habits.
Even with those bad habits, let me start by saying the Houston Texans are still 3-1 to begin the year. They still lead the AFC South to begin the season. And as you mentioned, we do this every single Monday. I'm getting used to doing Victory Mondays here when we talk about the Houston Texans with the way they've been able to, at the end of the day, finish games and find ways to win. As D'Amico Ryans always says, it's a lot easier to clean those mistakes following a win, but at the same time, it's a lot of mistakes, and sooner rather than later, they'll have to fix this, especially as their schedule only continues to get tougher.
I guess it's better to have mistakes and correct them while you're winning football games, and that's instead of losing football games. But I'm still just perplexed over what's causing these problems. I mean, it's not false starts, it's holding, a lot of holding penalties. I don't know what the total holding number was yesterday, but 12 in all. And, man, they're one of the leaders in penalties so far early in this football season.
Right, Randy, there is some of these penalties are, I think, bad calls, and then since one of the holding ones on Laramie Tunsil, he had his hands. That's the way you coach it. He was definitely
those dang red gloves, man.
It's the red gloves. It's white jerseys. He's got to change the gloves. That's a great point. I don't know if Laramie likes the red gloves for his sartorial style, but he might have to change. And white would look good too.
Yeah, it looks good on you, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you, guys. I'll tell Laramie. See if Laramie wants to switch to white.
There you go.
That said, sometimes they say it's sports psychology. Sometimes it's just this tendency you have to grab someone or to jump early. And in Kenyon Green's case, I think you can coach this out of him. I don't think you want Kenyon Green running a fly pattern, do you, Randy?
No, I do not.
Don't send him deep.
I don't know what that would look like, actually.
Hey, he'd have a size mismatch.
He would.
Sure.
The Houston Texans can't beat the Houston Texans. As I mentioned, D'Amico Ryans has said that a number of times. And for an offense that we expect to be really, really good, right? An offense that we expect to be one of the best offenses in the league, they keep shooting themselves in the foot. And as long as they keep having these penalties, they'll never be able to reach their full potential. The holding calls, the false starts, the illegal formations. We didn't see as many illegal formations yesterday. That's one area of the penalties they were able to clean up. But still, for them to get to where they ultimately want to go, we're talking about a team that has aspirations to win a Super Bowl. That's not going to cut it. Even in the wins right now, it's going to catch up to them sooner rather than later.
And it's good. The offense looked really good yesterday. CJ, 345 yards, something like that. A couple of touchdowns, and, for the most part, protected him. I think it took a couple of sacks, right?
Yeah,
you're going to have those every now and then, but I think it's the penalty. You strictly right now, I think with this football team, you look at the penalties. Everything else is actually pretty good.
Right. They don't have a turnover issue. They don't have a big injury issue. They're going to get Joe Mixon back soon. You look at where they're having the problems. It does crush drives. It stalls things out. The rhythm, the timing, it all gets off. One guy whose timing never loses is Nico Collins. He's outstanding, stellar, the gold standard this year for NFL wide receivers.
Yeah, we'll talk about Nico here in a bit. Chance had a story on Sports Sunday last night. And, what a start to his season this guy's having. It's only going to get better,
all-pro season early on.
Yes, absolutely.
Red hot.
Let's roll a couple of highlights, really for the second half. If you watch the game, you saw these plays. Trevor Lawrence trying to win in Houston again. Finds Christian Kirk right here, guys, in the corner.
It's the last time he got a win.
Right, and he was. Well, his first TD of the year for Kirk. They went up 20-17 at this point, so feeling pretty good. And how about this play? This is that 4th and 1. What do y'all think about this call?
Boy. If it had worked, I would have liked it, but it was. I think everybody sniffed it out, and so did Foley Fodikasi, who used to play for the Jaguars. Probably seen that play in practice a lot of times. Foley sniffs it out, and I got to talk about the hustle the tackle that Kalen Bullock made, that was amazing. What hustle.
Absolutely great hustle by the rookie. But fast forward here, the Houston Texans, they need a drive in the fourth quarter with under 2 minutes to go. C.J. Stroud leads them down the field, and Dario Gobawale, game winner, blouses. And the nice little TikTok dance at the end. The Houston Texans, they win 24-20.
Who's the better dancer? Was that the better dancer, Dare, or, I mean, Nico's got a pretty good
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nico's was better. I talked to Dare after the game, which we'll see some of that interview coming up where he explains his dance there. But I'll give Nico his credit for his dance.
All right, let's listen in now. We'll have a series of post-game sound during the next 15, 20 minutes. First up, the head coach, D'Amico Ryans.
The goal for us every week is to win. There's no such thing as an ugly win to me. Like, you finish with the win because, as we know in this league, wins are hard to come by. It doesn't matter who you play. So, man, I'm just proud to get a win. And it doesn't matter to me how we win them, just finish with the win. And the penalties that bug me the most and we have to get off of our tape and off of our team is the mental penalties. That's the ones I can't stand and I can't go for it. Like, we have to play smart. If we want to be a good football team, you have to play the game smart. And we talk about, we look at other teams around the league and we have meetings on these things, and guys just have to own up to it and be man enough to stand up and just play the game the right way. A lot of them just bonehead penalties that are, it's uncalled for, right? You don't need those. They're not helping us at all. When we had positive things that happen to us, and we're going backwards. We're in field goal range, and we go backwards because of our own mistakes. So, again, seem like I'm a broken record every time I stand up here, the Texans have to get out of the Texans' way for us to be a good team.
You talked about Nico Collins and having a good chemistry with C.J. Stroud, but breaking out like he's breaking out. Can you talk about that and what he's been able to do from year to year to year to get to where he is?
And since I first got here, I mean, Nico has definitely improved, and he's put the work in. That's the thing that people don't see. I mean, I wish everybody could come to see how he works throughout the week. So it's no surprise to me with what Nico has done, because you watch him work throughout the week. He's one of our hardest workers on our team, shows up every single day ready to work, and he's doing it in practice, and it shows up in the game. And CJ did a really nice job today of going through his progressions. I thought our protection was better today. He had a lot of time to make those reads. He had a lot of time to escape the pocket and make the plays we needed to make. And he did a good job of keeping his eyes downfield and finding the open receiver. So, I mean, credit to CJ, over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, like, big day for him. Like, we're not here in this position without CJ and what he was able to do today.
All right, head coach D'Amico Ryans after the victory yesterday. Again, the numbers 24-20, 3-1. They're looking good, guys, in the AFC South right now.
Yeah, they're second in the whole AFC, and they lead the AFC South. You think about this division, it's important to dominate these divisional games, and they're already 2-0 in the division. They beat the Colts, they beat the Jaguars, haven't played the Titans yet. I think they match up pretty well with them as well. And it's off to a great start. 3-1 is where they want it to be, and yeah, there's no style points in football. It was a little ugly win, but they'll take it.
Well, they are number 2 in the AFC, but number 1 in the entire NFL is Nico Collins, which we'll talk a little bit more about later on in the show. But 12 receptions, $150 through the air, with his receiving yards, including that touchdown, as we mentioned, that touchdown dance he had as well. A big day for Nico Collins.
All right, Nico had the big day. So did C.J. Stroud. You see his numbers, 345 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't really go deep much, a lot of intermediate passing on Sunday, but it was very productive. The yards racked up. That's kind of what's working right now.
Right, he's a very patient and precise passer. He's really mature. I love the way that he can elude pressure, but he's looking to throw, not looking necessarily to run, but he can run if he has to. CJ's the complete quarterback, and anybody that doesn't have him in their top 5, I wonder about their knowledge of the game.
Yeah, but to your point, though, about how he's not going deep. He didn't go deep so much in the last game against the Jaguars, but really so far throughout the season. The reason because of that is how the defenses are changing.
Right.
You see a lot more of the kind of the cover 2 where they want QBs to see how patient you'll be. Because obviously we know a lot of QBs like those big chunk plays, they like to throw down the field, but C.J. Stroud is comfortable. And that says a lot about a guy in his second year to not look for the home run ball. I'm just going to take what you give me, whether it's a dump-off pass to Dare Ogunbowale, who will, will convert on a third down and help pick up the first down, or finding his handy veteran Nico Collins right across the middle, or Stephon Diggs. He takes what the defense gives you, and most importantly, he does not turn the ball over. You can't ask for more from your quarterback.
I thought he was going to catch a touchdown. I thought Stephon was going to throw it to him.
I know for a second. Well, he had thrown one the week before, right?
Yeah.
And so people, they drew that play up again.
He's got a pretty good arm.
Bit a little bit.
I think he threw the ball a little bit back in high school, good counsel back in Maryland, and I think he's got a good arm.
Yeah. All right, so we saw C.J. Stroud's numbers. Listen in now. We got a few minutes with C.J. after the game.
Your mind as you guys watch that to set you guys up to have the moment you had?
Yeah, that's a huge play, man. Like, NFL is a game of inches, a game of yards. They come down to, small details that we always talk about. And, D'Amico always talks about, man, just give us a blade of grass to stand up on. And, I trust in our defense to come up big, and they did, man. So, shout out to Kalen playing really well as a rookie. I know how hard that is. And so I'm really proud of him, and, being a West Coast kid, I know how hard and tough, he is, and how he works hard. So, man, I'm just super proud of him, and, he got a lot of success on his way because, man, he's making a lot of plays.
Well, CJ, the final scoring drive that led to the winning touchdown, was there something different that you saw in that drive, or was it just that you were in 2-minute offense mode?
We honestly didn't even go into 2-minute, but we were just clicking now. Like, I know you guys are going to ask me, but, we got to stop moving backwards. And, I mean, every time we do that, we put ourselves in a hard position to be efficient. And I feel like whenever we are on the green side or we're doing well away from penalties, we're moving the ball against anybody, So I definitely think that last drive, we just did a good job of staying in front of the sticks, taking what I seen and, running when I needed to and whatnot. So, I think we were just locked in. Defense gave us another shot, and that's all we needed, man. So, just like they got our back, we got theirs.
CJ, talk about, and I know you're going to be asked this lots of times, but in terms of your relationship with Nico, it's not always pretty the way the play works out, but somehow you're able to find him. Talk about y'all's relationship.
Man, it's grown. I always go back to like when I first met Nick, throwing on the field during OTAs, and I told him, man, like, you're a superstar, and I'm gonna make sure people know that. And I feel like ever since then, like, man, he's had a swag and a confidence, starting from last year, and it's just rolling in now. So he's been big for us. He's always somebody that I lean on, like when I'm ever like just looking down or whatever, he come up to me, and he don't do too much. Like, he just be like, hey, Merrill, like, you good, you know who you are. And he always give me confidence, just like I give it to him, because, he's just a heck of a player, man. I'm super proud of him. I was told that he was I think he was leading franchise in 4 games. Man, that's huge, bro, with all the great receivers we had. So coming through this Texan organization, man, so I'm just, I'm very, very happy to be a part of his journey.
No, he's going to be open. Can you critical situation?
Yeah, honestly, it's like I look for that for everybody, but, it's just Nico is somebody he's quick on his feet, and, it's kind of crazy because we worked on that from last year, just, trying to get that down, or just that's where I feel like I could have elevated my game in a sense, was there, scrambling, looking down the field, and then really just as an offense, you know what I mean? So, Nico is definitely at the forefront of that. He's eating off of, scramble drill and whatnot, and but I think a lot of the other guys are getting open too, and they'll be able to eat off that as well.
CJ, when you look at the defense, second half, less than 200 yards allowed, 1 scoring drive, big stop at the 1-yard line. Just can you talk about their performance to get the offense second opportunities to be able to keep this thing close and eventually pull it?
Man, they played their tails off. It's not always perfect. It's not always, how we draw it up, but that's the NFL. Those guys, the Jaguars are a heck of a team. I don't think that their record, shows who they are. They've had some, some injuries and things like that. But, they play really hard, and I feel like, when it's a division opponent as well, it makes it a little harder, just because, that means a lot for the playoff run and everything like that. But, we got the stack of win. Me and Aziz were talking like we got to play complementary football. When the offense is down, the defense got to pick us up. When the defense down, offense got to pick it up. And special teams got to blanket everything. So we got to play 3 phases of football, at a high level, and we got to clean a lot of things up. But defense played really, really well today, I thought.
All right, Texas quarterback C.J. Stroud after the victory on Sunday over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, we want to hear from our viewers now with our mega poll. Who was the game MVP? Take your pick. Nico Collins, C.J. Stroud. There it is on the screen right there. Dario Guimawale, Kalen Bullock. Go to click2vote.com. You can do that right now. Cast your vote and weigh in. We do that each and every Monday here on Inside the Texans. So that was C.J. Stroud, guys. We hit on Nico just a few minutes ago. Let's circle back to Nico because I know we'll set up your story, Chancellor. Just a guy that, I mean, we've all seen Nico really develop over the last year. He was saying how much extra time he spent in the weight room in the offseason, and you've seen that physical side of what he's able to do, and man, is he productive.
Randy, one thing he did was devote a lot of time and resources to his body because he needed to become more flexible. That was one of the reasons he's having durability issues. So he took up hot yoga. He started working with Dr. Tenwin at Revolve Physical Therapy, and he even did that over the weekend when he had a tight hamstring. This is a guy that is really devoted to the game and his regimen, his diet, and he is locked in, and he's got all the talent in the world. I mean, he's a physical mismatch, 6'4", 222, 4.4 speed in the 40-yard dash, and he's got the skills, the hands, everything you want from a wide receiver. This guy is the prototype.
You know, it's funny, following his rookie season when Davis Mills was his quarterback. No disrespect to Davis Mills, but at the time, people kind of looked at Nico Collins as just a 50-50 guy, right? You throw it up and let your big body receiver go and get it. Fast forward to now, we're talking about an all-pro complete wide receiver, a guy who has played, who has been, I want to be clear on this, he's been the best wide receiver in the NFL this season, period. Yep. Now, would you rather have maybe some other guys who may be a little more explosive? That's another conversation for another day. But as of the 2024 season, he's been the best wide receiver. And so look what he did just yesterday, 151 yards, a touchdown, 12 catches on a team with another star receiver like a Stephon Diggs. He's been the guy who shined every single game. He's been the clear-cut wide receiver one. And to me, he's played himself into being at worst, a top 5 receiver in the National Football League.
Do you guys think his numbers will be affected once you get like a Tank Dell back and healthy again? You maybe get the tight end involved, or do you think he's going to keep turning out these numbers?
I think based on this 4 games we have, that sample size, it's going to continue to be where it's heavy Nico Collins targets. And you look at the extrapolating out for what it could be for the season, these numbers are crazy and, you know, probably maybe unattainable, but 128 catches, 2,078 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So that's what he's on pace for. On pace is really not great early in the year, but it's
good for shows like this.
It's fun though, and if we do have a 2,000-yard receiver, I mean that would be a record-setting, fun thing to cover. So yeah, Nico, keep it up. It'd be great.
Personally, I hope that's not the case because I want to see them run the ball a little more efficiently. Because if you go back to week 1 when they beat the Colts on the road, it was their running back Joe Mixon when he was healthy who had 150 yards on the ground. I would prefer to see a little bit more balance there. Right. But it is nice to know that you have a wide receiver that's capable of doing it like a Nico Collins when you need to.
Speaking of Nico, you spotlighted him on Sports Sunday.
Absolutely. Nico Collins, 150 yards on the day, a touchdown, 12 catches. Here's what he had to say following the game yesterday.
After another 100-yard performance, this time for 150, Nico Collins continues to lead the league in receiving yards.
Looking to throw on the move, and that one is caught for first down by guess who? Nico Collins, his 10th catch of the day.
Nico, and he's been lights out this entire year. To start the season, like being the NFL's leading receiver, he just shows up every single time we need to play. Nico is making a play, so I'm so thankful and happy for him that he's on our team. Nico has showed up every time we needed him.
So I feel like for me, just finding ways to be available, finding ways, you know, whenever my number's called, make a play for the team, and that's what I've been doing.
The Texans wide receiver one is on pace for over 2,000 yards and too many headaches for opposing defensive coordinators.
Yeah, Nico he's deserving of all the praise and all the credit that he's getting. He's one of the top receivers in the league, and he's showing it. He doesn't have to talk it. He's showing it by what he does on a game-to-game basis. Like, he's proven that he's one of the best. He should be all-pro, whatever, like all-pro, Pro Bowl, all those accolades should come to Nico because he's shown it every single week.
He's also shown a unique chemistry with his quarterback in C.J. Stroud. The two have made for one of the most dynamic duos in the National Football League.
You know, it's grown. You know, I always go back to, like, when I first met Nick, throwing on the field during OTAs. And I told him, man, like, you're a superstar, and, you know, I'm gonna make sure people know that. And I feel like ever since then, like, man, he's had a swag and a confidence, starting from, you know, last year, and it's just rolling now. So, you know, he's been big for it.
Something special, man. He's the type of dude that's always looking downfield, always finding an open void. So I feel like whenever the play's over, it's not really over. Just finding an open void for him, you know, he gonna make a play. You know, he's a dude playmaker, you know, so putting our trust in him, he trusts us. So I feel like that's really what it comes down to.
All right, Nico Collins, after his huge afternoon against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a special player, fun player to watch.
Oh, yeah. And one of the guys, I was just saying during the break, one of the guys I'm tracking for the annual Media Good Guy Award. He's definitely one of the candidates. The guy who's always available.
Very approachable. Yeah.
Very cooperative, very friendly guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Nico Collins, as you mentioned, one of the good guys off the field, great guys on the field as well. We'll see if he can keep that production up, though, as right now he leads the league in receiving yards, and it's actually by quite a large margin. Yeah. We'll see if he can keep that up throughout the season.
Yeah, you think the pace is going to be hard to keep up, but, man, you never know.
2,000 yards.
Yeah, that's a lot,
crazy,
man.
though.
You got his health, everything's got to come into place. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Inside the Texans. Chancellor's going to scoot out. He's got some work to do downtown with the Houston Rockets, so Aaron and I will finish it up the last few minutes of the show. We will take a break. Inside the Texans, coming right back. All right, welcome back inside the Texans. Chancellor Johnson scooted out. He's headed to Rockets Media Day. We are live here at KPRC2. Randy McElvoy and our Texans insider for ClickToHouston.com, Aaron Wilson. Final 5 minutes or so. We've got an interview coming up with Dare Ogunbowale, but let's talk about his role. You've seen this guy, what he can bring. I know this is a guy that's got a skill set that D'Amico Ryans really likes.
Yeah, he's very reliable, really valuable special teams guy, but when you need him, like to kick a field goal like last year against Tampa Bay, or to catch some passes. They threw it to him 4 times. He gives you 47 yards and the touchdown, the game winner. I love that 31-yard play, his catch and run, and he's somewhat electric. He's a nifty runner in spots. You don't want him to be your every down guy, but he's a great role player. And when people were projecting the running back and who was going to make the team, I was like, yeah, he's one of Frank Ross's guys. He's making it.
All right, speaking of Dare, he had that go-ahead touchdown yesterday from C.J. Stroud. Chancellor caught up with him in the locker room.
Here with Dare after the Texans' victory over the Jags, and obviously, as an athlete, you always want the ball in your hands late in games, but to do it at this level, to win the ball game, how would you kind of describe that feeling here?
Can't beat it, man. You know, it's special. It's definitely special when you give your chance to team to win, or give your team a chance to win, and did just that. You know, it was a good team win. And everybody had to kind of tap in at the end of the game to make sure we got the W, and we did, and I was able to make a play.
What does it say about this team that, even though it wasn't your best performance, you still found a way to win the ball game at the end of the day, and you guys advanced to being 3-1 on the year?
Resilient team, man. Resilient team. You know, we got some great leaders, and everybody, you know, we know we can win. You know, we got the confidence to win. We got the poise to win. We just got to go out and execute. And even like you said, the game doesn't go our way for 3.5 quarters or so, but at the end of the game, we just got to close it out and make plays.
You certainly had a number of big plays, but so did your wide receiver Nico Collins, $150 on the day. How special was he today for this offense?
All season he's been special, you know what I'm saying? Nico, he's a player, bro. He's a dog, and happy to be on the team with him. You know what I'm saying? We know 12's going to do what he got to do to get the ball in his hands and then make plays. And he does just that, and it's like I said, very grateful to be on the team with him and be able to watch him work.
Speaking of making plays, there was another playmaker in the building today. That would be your sister, who was in attendance for the game today. What did it mean for you to have your sister support you in this game?
Huge, man, huge. Just like I said, it's childhood dreams. Childhood dreams. Me being able to be courtside for her games, her being on the sideline for my games. I mean, we talked about this when we was in middle school, elementary school. Now it's really, we really living it. So special.
Something else that was really special was that dance. Walk me through that. What was that there? Was you on TikTok?
It's some Milwaukee stuff, man.
Okay.
You know, it's I have to shout out to the hometown. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the prettiest dance out there. It's a weird dance, but I know my people in the 4-on-4 are celebrating that one with me.
Fresh stuff.
All right, good stuff from Dare Ogunbowale. I love watching him play. I love the energy that he has out there, and hey, it's only fitting. Give him the football and get that touchdown.
Yeah, and it runs in the family. His sister is a great player for the Dallas WNBA franchise, and she was there cheering him on.
Yeah.
She even said, throw him the ball, and then they did.
Throw him the ball and he will catch it.
I don't think CJ heard it, but I guess they were on the same wavelength.
Real quick, we got Stefon Diggs video. Let's run some of that if we can, and just the role he continues to play. You know, he's behind a guy like Nico Collins, who's the #1 right now, and he seems to be okay with that.
Right, and the thing about Stefon, when he came here, he knew the reputation. He knew what people were saying, and I think he's been a great fit. And he's been good with us when we've talked to him. He's outstanding. You know, gives a lot of insightful answers, a lot of candor. He's fun.
Here's a cool play from yesterday. I thought he was going to throw that ball.
You know, so I guess it was supposed to go to Nico Collins, but we saw C.J. Stroud in the route as well. I don't know if you want to risk a jump ball to the quarterback, though. Probably not. Nico would have been a better choice. But, yeah, he ran it in, and that's his first touchdown run ever in his career.
Got about 30, 45 seconds. This is a big week for Stefon. It's he's already faced the Vikings, played for them, but the Buffalo Bills are coming to town. He's going to face his former team. You know he's thinking about that, and he wants to put on a show.
Right, and that's fresher than the Minnesota thing. And he said that was emotional. This might be emotional, too. And Josh Allen's already had to clarify some of his remarks that sounded like they were talking about Stefon. I think Stefon, when he talks this week, and he says he will, that he is going to not pour any gasoline on any controversies simmering from his Buffalo days. I expect this to be a smooth week as far as media.
Well, he's fun to watch. Big piece of this offense. Had another nice day yesterday. And I think that role is going to continue to grow in this offense under C.J. Stroud. All right, at all points now to the next game. 3-1. They'll go for win #4. Bills at the Texans. Coming up Sunday, 12 noon kickoff at NRG Stadium. Just kind of keep this thing going. Hopefully the mistakes can go away or at least be cut down on those penalties.
They've got to be more efficient, Randy, and they know that, and it's being drummed into their heads a lot.
All right, good stuff here on Inside the Texans. We appreciate you watching today. For Chancellor Johnson, I'm Randy McElvoy, alongside our insider, Texans insider, Aaron Wilson from click2houston.com. So long for now. Coverage all week on air and online. click2houston.com as the Texans get ready for the Buffalo Bills. Take care.